Hello and welcome to Arsenal Domination, where I want to talk about Arsenal's midfield and why Mikel Arteta, in the absence of Martin Odegaard, appears to be away from home, favouring a midfield three of Moreno, Rice, and Zubimendi. Whilst at home, although Odegaard has started those games, he has, when Odegaard has come off, made a more attacking change. And I think one of the reasons is that Mikel Arteta is going to tactically adapt how he plays based on the opponent and based on the situation. Away from home, I think he's going to be far more pragmatic this season. And I think we're sort of seeing that so far this season. But all the games have been difficult. So it'll be really interesting to see if that sort of changes when he goes to lesser opposition than he has done so far. Old Trafford not been a happy hunting ground historically. Anfield, you're at the champions and the best attack in England. And then Bilbao is a really, really intimidating atmosphere on an opening Champions League night. And I think that is, whereas at home we're seeing the opposite. We are seeing that more attacking threat. But I think that is why we are seeing that three of Moreno, Rice, and Zubimendi. And I think in Arteta's mind, it is more attacking than we think it is. I personally am not necessarily a big fan of those three. I understand why it's used for the reasons I've just outlined. It's pragmatic, it's physical, and it's designed, and we saw it work effectively on Tuesday night, to break down the opposition, wear them out, control the game, make sure that you can quieten the crowd and limit their attacking threat whilst looking to do something either on the break from a set piece or from a powerful run from that midfield late into the box to get onto the end of a cross. Or, and again, we saw this effectively on Tuesday, but less at Anfield, later on in the game, you then make an attacking change where you see the likes of Eze or Martinelli or Trossard or Nwaneri. Those types of players come into the game to try and run and create against a more tired defence. And I think that's the sort of game plan there. And I'll say it'd be very interesting to see when we play lesser opposition whether that changes. Whereas at home, we're seeing that more attacking threat. Martin Odegaard has started those games. He's come off injured in both of them. But it was even Nwaneri that came on. And I think that sort of shows that Mikel Arteta is choosing how he sets up the team based on the opposition. Um, and, I think I can understand that. I can accept that. And if you look at it, I think the results sort of generally speak to themselves. He was close to getting a point at Anfield. He didn't. And that's why the narrative is what it is. But it has been relatively effective this season. What we do, as I say, want to see is a more attacking threat at home and against those opponents. And I think this weekend will be interesting to see what he does. Manchester City, of course, are going for the title, but we are at home and they're missing players. And they're not as frightening as they were a couple of years ago, which is why personally I would go with either Nwaneri or Eze in the 10 if Odegaard is unavailable. But I expect it will be that same midfield, unfortunately. But we'll see what Mikel Arteta does. I'll speak to you soon.